Alright. That should work. Okay. No stream. Good. Old chat needs to go bye-bye. New chat needs to pop out. I can turn on moderation activity. Cool. Okay. New stream. No more slurs in rival name. Alright. New stream. Starting at 2:54. I'll actually have a decent metric for how fast we go. Instead of, you know, how bad it was before. Where I, click off a stream too much. Hopefully I can stay focused. Keep shiny hunting this time. I'm debating whether or not we turn a really quiet music background back on. I think we do. This. That. Then you go back here and we turn you back on. But you need to be pretty damn quiet. I don't know how well that's going to work, so we'll see. I feel like these trainer IDs are going to be lucky. But hopefully this will help, having multiple streams of audio. If it doesn't, well, we'll see if anyone has an issue with it, and then I'll go from one to the other if I need to. I just got shinoed again. I swear I saw the star, but I saw the purple outline. I'm like, it's a purple outline. I know it's not shiny, but I swear I saw that star for a second. No nickname, Professor. I don't care about nicknaming my Pokemon. So far, it's doing better because I, remove the slurs from the rivals' names. And now we get to say which rival name's lucky, too. Yeah, I probably should have done that sooner. I'm pretty sure YouTube was like, your rival's name is a slur? Yeah, we don't want to push your stream. That's bad. Even though it was a joke. And it wasn't even that bad. It was the C factor word. I'm not going to say it, but it was this, if you know what C factor means, you know what word it was, and you know which cultures use it. I should totally sue them for discrimination. It's culture appropriation that you won't let me use that word on stream. You punish me for using it. It's a part of my culture. It's like punishing... I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to finish that thought. Sorry for anyone who had to re-show up. I decided to reset stream. I reset my save files. Because I think that the names of my rivals may have been killing the stream, so I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna name my rivals after a few of my friends. So top left game, or top game at this point is, I believe, Ambi. Middle game is named Way, and then bottom game is Matt No for my friend Matt. If you want channel links, if I had one of my moderators here, I'd have them link the channel. But unfortunately, I do not, so... but if you do want to check out their channels, you can just look them up. Happy Ambipom, Way Gaming, and I don't know if he changed his name from Matt No Beyblade. I think he changed it to something new recently for his channel, so... Thank y'all for showing up, though. If you have any problems with the music or the audio levels, let me know. If I should do one or the other. I'm debating between game audio and music in the background, or both, one or the other, or both. If they conflict too much, let me know, and I'll choose between one or the other. I'd probably choose between game audio. I think game audio does better. The problem is that, I think I'll do this. Add a filter to you. Cancel. We're gonna do a gain. And then we're gonna go down like this. It's gonna be quieter, but you can still be heard. I think that'll work. Let me know if you think the music's not, if the music and the audio is conflicting or anything. If one's too loud, one's too quiet, let me know. I'm still playing around with the settings, so. But so far, so good. Better than the... Although this does conflict with my theory, where my initial theory was that if you were a lurker, you weren't counted. And maybe that is still true, because the counters went way down again. Maybe I didn't have to go through the effort of renaming my rivals, but yeah, figured it'd help. It does seem to be helping still. Let's see what you do there, and then we'll hit B again. Nope. I'm just gonna turn that off. We'll just do game audio. Probably better. I mean, I'm still listening to music. You guys just don't get to enjoy it. You guys get to hear the game audio instead. Should I start a poll again? I don't know. Maybe I should start another poll, but I feel like the poll takes up too much space. You know, no one. You know, when you join a stream and this big ass poll pops up, it covers so much of the screen. You have to take effort to dismiss it. I really like the idea of a poll, but just the fact that the poll is so big and covers so much of the screen can be really obnoxious. And I wish I could change that somehow. Do a poll. Because it works okay on the normal streams, right? When you got a big screen, you know, poll's not a bad idea. Kind of shows up in chat when you can view chat. But for shorts, it's like, it's the entire screen. Yes, it is Pokemon. Hello, sorry I didn't see that sooner. I was clicked off of my chat. Yep, it's Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. The two top copies are digital copies for the Switch, and the bottom one is my physical Leaf Green copy. Well, my brother's physical Leaf Green copy, which I hang on to. We're going for the Charmander first, then probably Squirtle, then Bulbasaur. Of course, if I get it on the bottom game will probably have to do something other than the starter hunt, because I have no way to reset that file. I have no way to trade it out. I don't own any SPs, so I couldn't put it in Pokemon Box or anything else. Oops, wrong one. Pokemon. Hello, Fat Rover. Welcome on in. Yeah, I think I am glad that well, I'm not gonna say what I did. I restarted stream for a specific reason, and it seems to be working. So, what do I do here? Okay. So there's only that's the first time I've done that. I should probably change the button mode on that back to L equals A. That way I don't accidentally do whatever that was again. We're getting closer to 1,000 between all three games. This is slower than I thought it'd be, but I think it's partially running 3 games. Because when you run 3 games between all 3 of them, your resets per, you know, you're slower per reset between all 3 games, but you get 3 resets per time, so it's still better. Although if I did have a better controller mod, I think that would, well, not a better controller mod, a controller mod at all, then, you know, it'd be better. Although, I'm not sure that I would actually want to do a multiple controller hunt, after what the automated stuff has shown. Because if you're controlling all 4 games at the same time without any kind of latency between them, I would be worried between hitting the same frames. Like, that's an interesting question to pose. I might actually have to ask that to, like, Bro Side and, like, be like, hey, you know, if you... Because I've never even thought about how the controller mod would theoretically affect your RNG. I mean, in theory, they're different save files, different names, different everything. So in theory, as long as they're different trainer IDs and different things, you should be hitting different frames between them. But I don't know. It's an interesting question to pose. It's weird that I think the stream is doing better without the music playing in the background, just game audio, which I thought it'd be the other way around. I always thought that having passive music in the background is better than game audio. It keeps more people around, but that does not seem to be the case for tonight. I guess I haven't done my thoughts on Winds and Waves yet. You know, I don't do what a lot of other people do, where they stream all the announcements and reactions and stuff. It definitely looks better than ZA and Arceus, and definitely better than Scarlet and Violet. But you know, we don't know if that's what the game will actually look like, because the trailer was like, "Oh, this isn't real gameplay." So I'm like, if it's not real gameplay, then I don't know. You know, if the game looks like that, then which I'm assuming they use the in-game map, so I'm assuming the game will look like that. It looks good. And it looks like it's going to be very Hoenn vibes, which everybody loves Hoenn. You know, there's definitely not too much water in Hoenn. Maxie definitely wasn't right. But, you know, without knowing the mechanics and the amount of content, you know, like, if they just went for looks over content, then it'd still be another terrible Game Freak game, and they just made said terrible game look good. It's like the Scarlet and Violet updates. You know. Getting close to 900 between all three games. That's good. Bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum. Stream gods. Give me a shiny. Give the people what they want. A shiny reaction is what they want. They don't want to sit here and listen to me yap. They want the shiny, you know? They want instant gratification with the shiny reaction. Maybe I should do some kind of thumbnail, but I don't know. I don't think it helps much. Or I could go back to standard streaming, but I'm not sure I want to do that either. It seems like it does well. My theory might still be correct, because it went down, like everyone's lurking, and it went down again. I may have to converse with other people about this idea. Because if that's what they did, that would really piss me off, because it would really fuck over a lot of small streamers who are just trying to build their platform, you know? But my hypothesis, I think it might be correct. You know, everyone shows up, you see the initial total viewer spike, and then because they're not chatting, that goes down to almost nothing, because what's weird is that the lowest it usually goes is 1 or 2, so I'm not sure if that number is correct. So it needs to go here, these two need to do that. Yeah, 209, what is that one? I don't remember at 209. One, two, three. I don't know why I said Meryl. It's just a Charmander. I don't know why I was literally saying Meryl, Meryl, Meryl. We're not shiny hunting Meryl. We're shiny hunting Charmander. I don't even remember where I started. I was gonna say I'd remember where I started, but I do not. I was gonna keep track of how fast we're going. How many encounters have we done? Let's see. Where do we start the stream at? 254. We've done 20 in. That's not bad at all. It does seem like it's like 2, maybe a little more than 2 a minute at full pace. Not bad. Alright, let's see now. No Charmander, no nickname. Maybe that is what a lot of people do. Just put it on, no chat showing. Well, that's the game. I thought it was weird. I thought it was like the background for some reason. Why is the background showing through? It's just the game. Pokemon. Iman. I really hate how YouTube... It feels like YouTube changed the system. Or it's just their kill switch button for me and my channel. You know, yeah, I have to be killed. I guess I could advertise it on Instagram. I wonder how well that would work. Maybe I should post on Instagram and see if people show up or not. Or you could straight up go live on Instagram instead. That'd be funny if I would just... But I don't think people on Instagram would like a Pokemon Shiny Hunting stream live. Dun 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 dun. What would I have to lose? Oh, apparently I've already gotten 2 subs today from stream. That's nuts. Which makes... That does lead me to believe that my theory is correct. I mean, if people subbed and then, you know... That's 2 subs. I mean, I guess it could be from Instagram Reels, but I doubt they're from Instagram Reels. I bet they're from streaming, and I bet you they're still lurking. And it's just that YouTube doesn't count lurkers anymore. Because, of course, they have to copy what Twitch did, you know. I wonder if I can use, like, stream elements or something else. Let me do some research real quick. Sorry for any of you who are still here. I'm going to do some quick research on if I can show a real viewer count. Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can't do my stream elements, which I really should just finish setting up my stream elements anyways while we're streaming. So, oh, hello there, new person. That's interesting. Hello, welcome on in. I'm gonna do a little bit of playing around with some stream element stuff, see if I can't get my bot working. So, let me go ahead and log in, and I'm gonna see if I can't get my chat bot working and some other stuff working. Just let's see now. Let's go chat bot here. I think I don't remember how to do a lot of this, so it's going to take me a second to do this. Let's see. How do I do this again? This is going to take me a minute, so I apologize for that. Let's see. Chatbot, modules, timers, counters, spam filters, downwards quotes. Let's see. How do we add the stream elements chatbot to YouTube chat? I don't remember how to do it. Add moderator. Click join. Where's join on this? Let's see. Where's join? Let's see. We have banned words, spam filters, timers, modules, chat command, chatbot, variables, new command, streaming tools, elements gallery, dashboard, activity feed, revenue history, dashboard. Still playing around. Let's see now. I'm gonna do... Wait, it says the bot is in my chat. Does it work? I swear it doesn't work. Hold on. Yeah, I don't think it was working correctly, because I'm pretty sure it changed. Wow, it's a lot of people that I could have had notifications on that work. Oh, holy crap, that one is still working. Holy crap, I didn't realize that it was still in chat, so that one works. Okay. What I really wanted to do was a widget that checks for... That's why my viewer is always at 1. The chatbot counts as a viewer. I was wondering why it was always at 1. I bet you it's the chatbot being in it correctly. Yeah, so those are all the commands if anyone wants to try them out. It's actually working. And then... let's see. Overlays gallery. We got widgets. Oh yeah, I need to go to overlays. We got no chat subscriber box. I don't remember which ones I had for what. Hi, Ambi. Did you finish streaming already? Or are you still streaming while we're doing this? I'm playing around with stream elements real quick. Just seeing what I can't get working. But what I wanted to do was create a new widget, potentially, that shows the view count so we could see if my testing works. Let's see. Labels, subscribers, tips, super chats, sponsors, other, train count, bot counter. Ooh, that's a cool one. Train count, time for various view activities, merchandise, alerts. I wonder if Stream Elements has that. Let's see, Stream Elements, view count widget. It should have one. Maybe it doesn't exist. Let's see. Overlays gallery. Let's see. Image. See merch, stuff like that. Let's see. Stream tools. Let's see. Let's see if it even exists. So we're gonna go overlays gallery, widgets, search. Oh, we need to search for a count. Wow, I only have like 3. Alerts, widgets. Yeah. Elements. Elements gallery. Why'd I go back? That's weird. I want to go back, please. Oh, that's a link. Okay. Go overlays gallery here. Let's go overlays. I really do want to see if we can figure this out. If anything, I'll at least get those other ones figured out again, so. Let's see, add a widget. Get alerts, merchandise, hype cup, engagement, labels, total all time, latest subscriber. I could do that. What do I want to do? I definitely would like to add that back in, if I can. I know I shouldn't be playing with this stuff, but no one's here, so I can play with it all I want. Well, I will turn that on so you can hear it. Let's see. I'm going to add a browser. Okay, apparently I don't have any of those set up on here anymore. I must have deleted them all on accident. Let's see. Let's see, we have a notification box. Are you what I think you are? You should have everything, right? Copy overlay here. Then we're going to add you as a browser. New. Paste you in. Okay, then we're just going to put you kind of front and center. I'm trying to figure out all this stuff as I go. Let's go ahead and emulate that. Let's do that and see what it does. Oh, it worked. Although that is not how I kind of want it, so let's try that one more time, see what it does. Kavamasa. That was weird. Let's try that one more time. Yeah, it looks right. It looks all right on there. I think I just need to change the size correctly. There we go. Then while it's still going, we'll go ahead and shrink you back down to your correct size. What did I just do? No, 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 no. What just happened? Oh, crap. Broke it, and I can't undo it. Alright, well, this one should be easy to move back to where it belongs. And then you... What happened to you? Then you can go here. I think I do want to set up a latest subscriber one too. But anyways, we can test that one more time. Yeah, seems to work. Might have to lower it a bit, but yeah, seems to work. And I think I do want to add a couple other ones of these while we're playing with them. Let's see, because there's a bunch of these that we can do, and I feel like we should just play with them. Although I think I do want to add the audio from it, but I don't remember how to add the audio from it. We can add a bunch of stuff. Subscribers. What's your latest? That looks terrible. What do I want to do? I can't believe people are staying here while I'm just messing around. Although it does seem like a couple of them are bots, just based on their names. I really am tempted to do the, post it on Instagram, see what people think, but I don't know if I want to do that. Let's see. Let's see. Do I want to do that? For now, we can just save it as... And then we'll go ahead and copy you here. Make sure we go here. I'm going to add... I guess, if you're still looking, this is kind of the process of building these. You build the widgets or find them and then paste them in, so... Do new, do you. Okay, here. I don't know why that did that. And then we do. Oh, what do I do? Oh, yeah. I have no idea if that's real or not. You have to stick with me on that. Also, I have no idea how it's gonna work, but I also don't know where I'd put a sub counter or goal. Probably off to the side. Okay, that one's working now. I do have chat. I do Let's see, we got sub counts from way back when. We got chat and notification box, which I added. We got a copy of chat unnamed overlay. Donation goal, that's funny. I forgot how long it's been since I actually used any of that. But what I was thinking about doing is doing a goal. And then we do a sub goal. Let's see. I thought one of these was a goal. Bot counter. Merchandise alerts. I don't want. I swear one of these was a. Let's see, we got seasonal charity, text box image video, custom widget, subs, tips, super chat sponsors, other, train count, event list, bot counter, engagement, alerts. I guess I could try searching it. Let's see. Hello. Oh, we can have a goal. Cool. Okay, that's not what I want to do sub goal wise, but that is weird that it doesn't show my actual sub count though. I'm trying to figure out what this is. So it's 0, 126. What is this? That is weird. I don't know why it's the way it is. That is weird. I should be able to play with the actual stuff here. Goal title, set a goal. Do 700. But what are the other two? What is the 126? We've got, like, I should be able to figure this out. We've got the 126 and 700 width, height, pixels, opacity, rotation. It should be in settings, but like all it. I just want to do frame elements because right now, let's say current over total. That might not be YouTube subs. That might actually be the problem. Why, I don't know why it shows 0, 126 in the other one, which of course you guys can't see that because I'm playing with it. But yeah, so that's the third one I can play with right there. Yeah, why does it show 126? Where is it getting 126? I don't get where it's getting 126. Otherwise, we'd be good. Let me look this up real quick. I'm just playing with stuff now. Distracted from shiny hunting. You know how ADHD works. I want to get this stuff working and figure it out so I can make a better streamer. I wonder if it would actually update correctly. I'm at 622 and it goes 126. I don't know what any of that means. I do not remember what we were at either in terms of counting. I gotta go back a little ways and figure out. We were at 278, what it looks like. So I will need to reset those back correctly here in a second from all the numbers I've pushed. Maybe it will just have to update correctly. But yeah, I think I do want to play around with my chatbot again. Actually, you know what? We want to get rid of you. Let's do... Yeah, I can make these later. But I don't know if those will update correctly or not. So we'll see. But I'll go ahead and link you real quick. Make one more web browser here. New. Okay. And then go ahead and upscale you a little bit. Boom. I don't know if that's where I want to keep that. But yeah. We got some simple stuff. Shrink you back down a little bit. Right. There we go. And then let me make a goal, because I do have a goal once we reach 700 subs. So let me go to my chatbot real quick. Save you, close you, go here, go into chatbot, chat commands, recent. Well, I haven't updated that one in a while. I do want to update you. Let's see. Wow, it's been a while. 700. Then we'll do... I should be able to hear the notifications too. I will attempt a Nuzlocke using the DSTV out picture in picture mode. That is what I'm planning on doing if we get to 700. So save that one. All right. It won't do what I want it to do, but I don't know why it shows 126 out of... Let's see. We'll find out. Let's see now. In OBS, as I see live dashboard, you can see live viewers. Cool. Really, that is so ridiculous. Yeah, that'd be... It should just automatically pick it up. Let's see. Activity feed widget data. Let's see, let's do this. We have data and reports, activity feed. Cool on that. Filter by. Okay, well, activity feed doesn't show. Yeah, that's wrong. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. That should work, but no, it's not gonna work, apparently. I feel like just putting them on the top. I guess we put them on the bottom, but Just put them on the top screen itself, next to each other. Let's see. I know it's on the right account. Maybe I am on the wrong one. Well, let me check these. Do any of those have that number? Nope. It's not that. There is no widget data here. There's dashboard. Bot is in your chat. Activity feed. Anything else here? Let's see. Other. Yeah, I got that. But what I need is here and here. That's definitely not either of those, but... I hate that this isn't working. It should be working. I don't know why it's not working. Let's see. Da 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 da. We can go. We're gonna go stream tools, overlays, goal, edit. Let's see now. What are we editing here? We've got group, ungroup, duplicate, delete, settings, yeah, title, set a goal. It doesn't have a fucking variable. Maybe I need to set the variable correctly. But where does it set it? I don't even see the first variable, which is weird. It's just name and goal. The, whatever it's called. I don't have fucking widget data. There is no widget data. There is no widget data in the activity feed. Yeah, fuck you. You stupid piece of shit. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that to good old. There we go. Like, got an image. And that's it. That's just a name. We got goal and a goal. That's it. And we got position, size, and style, and text settings, which neither of them should be. This is super weird. I don't know what's going on. I want it to work correctly. Text settings, advanced. There's no advanced in the settings, is there? Goal, set a goal. No, I'm just gonna scroll through the overlays gallery, which they don't have any. Latest video, social media rotator, 3D subscriber alert box. We're looking for, yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see what YouTube. Let's see what we can find. Let's see how to get accurate sub count data stream elements. Sorry about those tuning in. I'm playing around with my stream elements stuff with layout. See what I can add, where I can add it, stuff like that. So that doesn't exist anymore. Data and reports. Yeah, that doesn't exist anymore. Data and reports. Activity feed, widget data. I don't have widget data. There is no widget data here. This is so weird. I don't know what's going on here, but thank God for keeping it. Where is widget data? Hey, maybe. Let's see. Ooh, I can reset everything. That might work too. Alright, set your action. Activity feed section? I don't see that anywhere. What is this? Just pops it out like that. I don't... Can I just go here? It doesn't seem like it exists anymore. It's like they removed the damn thing, which I don't understand why you'd remove that if it's so damn important. Let's see, widget data, widget data. Oh. So we go here, here, and here. Cool, okay. I don't want to do that. Yeah, no wonder. Yeah, how do we get it to automatically do it? Let's see. Let's see now. Yeah, I can update it manually, but it won't update automatically. So I want to figure out how to make it work automatically. Yeah, that's how you get the manual one. I need to know what command. Yeah, apparently this widget stuff is pretty stupid because it just sets a manual since last reset. Yes. Like, it doesn't show total, it just shows how many total we have, which is not what I want. I want total. We were at 279, I believe. Yeah. Let's see, how do I do this again? I really want to get back to shiny hunting, but now I'm invested in getting this figured out, so we're gonna keep figuring this shit out. That goal is stupid. Let's see. Chat. Custom widget. Nope, don't want to do that. Leaf page. Do a new overlay. Figure out what commands I can use. Which I don't know what commands I can use. Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna have to look up and find a tutorial for this. Let's see. How to add the real number of... I guess I could just start it and it should count up. If it detects any new ones, it should count up. We don't know. Let's see. This one would piss me off if they didn't have it. I mean, they should have it, but who knows? Let's see. Okay. So we do this. We should just be able to, let's go here real quick. Let's just test this real quick. Can I do that? Does that work, or does it just show up as... I guess I need to save for that to work, huh? And then we need to update. Yeah, that just shows up as text. Why am I still playing with this? I should be shiny hunting. Let's see. Let's see, can I do this? Let's see. Add widget text, static text. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. We're just gonna add a text box. Your text goes here, and then it's... Gotta save this real quick. Let's see now. Cool. Okay. You need to do... See if it works. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. I gotta figure this shit out. My brain says I have to. That is so stupid. Like, if Stream Elements hasn't figured this out, you just think it's stupid. Yeah, that won't fucking work. You dumb shit. Now I gotta find this out. YouTube, help me. Let's see, this is 15 minutes for one little thing? Is it really that complicated?
You want to file free?
Anyways, I gotta mute this for a second. That seems ridiculous. Let's see if this will actually work this time. No wonder he talks on too much. I might have just been doing this wrong. This might be really stupid, and this one might be on me. So we go here, and we delete you, add a widget. We're going to do... And we're going to do subscribers, total and all time, total subscriber count. There it is. And then what we can do is we can just use this as a goal. I'm just a dumbass, and apparently I assumed their goal was... We can do... Goal of... 22 out of 7. And hit save, and that should show up on our stream. Good. And I think I'm going to go edit that one now. So you're not quite the same. Let's see. Settings here. Let's shorten this a little bit. There we go. Then we can bring you to one corner. Come on, where are you? Why can't I click you? Oh, it's because you're that big. That's why. Shrink you a little bit. Okay, I have to do things manually like that, but okay. You want to shrink you to around the same size. How does that look? That looks good. Oh yeah, and then I need to figure out the desktop audio too. And then once we do that... Oh yeah, I'm just playing around with stream elements because you maybe kind of want to figure it out. Look, the chatbot works still. And I think the sub works. Bring you over here. There we go. I figured that I should probably review my knowledge of it before I kind of show you how to use it as well. So you can play around with the chatbot if you want. All those commands are what they are. We can see if they work. That is the wrong charger. I hope, yeah, you should still be able to hear me on my microphone. Now, the one last thing I had to figure out is, I don't know where my desktop audio just went. Apparently this is just too quiet. Alright. Then I do need one more thing where, did you end your stream, Amby? Did I miss the end of your stream? Or are you still streaming? It looks like you're still streaming. Oh, you went back to Bulbasaur. Cool. Let's see. Alright. So we got the goal, and then we got our sub done. Now the other thing I need to figure out is how do I make sure that it has audio inside of this one. I'm still learning, relearning some of this. So. Your browser notifications. It should be part of desktop audio, but... Oh, okay, so we just gotta do this one. Okay, now we're gonna test one last time on our notification box. And we'll see if you guys can hear it. Emulate a subscriber event. I don't hear any audio from that, do I? Yeah, I'm not hearing any audio from that. Let's see. Which is weird. It should have audio, unless I muted it. Oh, let's see. Let's figure out audio now. Settings. Set video, change name. Volume is 0%. Oh, that explains it. Okay. Let's see. We do you. Change your volume. You. Your volume. Do you change your volume? I'd be happy to show you any of this ambient at some point. Just get in a Discord call and I'll show you how I did it. Let's see now. Now we should have audio. There it is. It looks like it worked too. Cool. Alright. I think I've got it how I kind of want it. Now we need to go here and check. We need to get these set back up where they were before I started playing with this stuff. Which was 278, I believe. So we need to do 44, 55555, 3333. Alright, I think we can get back to shiny hunting. I think I've got it the way I want it. Let me emulate this one more time just to make sure it's going to work. That might be a little ear rapey, I don't know. Let's find out. I do think I want that up a bit so that the number isn't blocking it entirely. I think TTS is on too. I don't know if the dono stuff is set up or not. Let's see. I do believe it is though. Yep, it is set up. I do have that set up, so. And it should have a notification for that as well if I go into my overlays. Notification box. I believe that the tip stuff is set up. Let's see, settings. It is subscriber alert, member alert, super chat, tip alert. Yep. So it should work exactly how I want it to. Alright, let's get back to actually shiny hunting. Hold on, I need to do 4. 4, apparently... 1. There we go. Back to chat here. I wish I could put chat. It'd be nice if I could put chat somewhere on the screen with it. I can see why some people put chat on their layouts. But yeah, we're gonna get back into this. Oh, someone or was that the test sub? I bet you the test sub was... Oh. Does it know if you unsubscribe and it removes you from the latest sub? That'd be funny as shit if it did. Let's see, we have notification box, test sub. Let me actually do this real quick and see. Nope, it doesn't. It's just, that was the latest test sub, not the latest real sub. So I should be able to update that by replaying the activity. So now it should show up. Yeah. Although, not sure how long it'll take to that. Alright. Anyways, I'll just unpause the recording. Dogs be dogging. Not that I didn't totally kill my stream doing that, but hopefully this will be better. Alright. Chat here. Why won't OBS do the thing? And the OBS won't do the thing. I guess I could do this. Yeah, I guess I could do that. We'll bring you over here instead. Alright. Recording. No, I didn't unpause recording. Is it Control R? Is it Control P? I think I did Control P. Oopsies. Alright, we're good to go. Let's see, we do want the Charmander. Alright, hopefully this works well. Alright. Let's catch up to Ambi now. We gotta catch back up to Ambi. Alright. Let's actually do some shiny hunting, because I made much progress shiny hunting. Just procrastinating, not finding the shiny, you know? Because I'm good at that. Of course it also killed the stream, of course it did, so. But it's also getting late on a Saturday night, so we'll see. Wait. Oh, that's browser and desktop audio are different? I didn't know browser and desktop audio were different. I thought they were the same. Alright, now that I'm talking normally again, the viewer count is going up. Welcome on in, everybody. Just playing around. I spent more time than I should have playing with stream elements to get some stuff on the layout. I do need to style them, but for now they work. So, we'll just let them work. Nope, I haven't even gotten the Pokemon yet, silly. Alright. Now we can check the summary. I feel like desktop audio is too loud. Let's see. We do not want to nickname the Charmander, no. I really feel like I should put my controllers on my lap instead. Come on. I'm gonna have to go let the dog out real quick. Of course, right after I'm getting back, it would be that way. I'd have to go check on the dogs and something would be up. Alright. Alright, if we're gonna summon a shiny, it's gonna be this song. I gotta pause it though. Of course, YouTube is gonna kill it, isn't it? I got Shinoed again. I swear I see the star and I know it's not there. To run away. I guess I better unpause it so you can hear it if I'm gonna sing along to it. I don't know. I'm still a little, conflicted on what I use or not. On the one hand, both audio's good. On the other hand, both audio bad. I mean, the game audio only really matters if you get the shiny, and I can turn it back on if I get the shiny, so. But it also helps with the ambient noise. Especially since you can't hear my button clicking. The button mashing is, I've filtered out the button mashing, so it's not a huge deal. So you can't hear the button mashing much. I mean, maybe you can hear the button mashing while I'm talking, but I don't think you can. Needs to do that, that needs to do that. And that one needs to hit B. I don't know. I feel like we'll just leave the music how it is. I do need a better armrest or something, though. This hurts my shoulders at the moment. It shouldn't hurt my shoulders, but it does. Like, I'm lifting my shoulders up onto the desk. I really kind of want to post on Instagram, but I feel like that'd be a waste of stuff on Instagram. No nickname. Let's see now. I feel like I should definitely switch up what shiny hunts I do. But I gotta get my Gen 4 shiny hunts. I gotta get my Gen 4 Smeargle set up for that. Hate when I do that. Oh, I did it again. Shoot. Charmander, where are you? I need Charmander. Charmander, show up please. I know we aren't even 1/8 the odds, but I've seen people get that lucky. Ambi got that lucky on his onion butter. I feel like if I get Charmander, which one should I do first? The Squirtle or the Bulbasaur? Part of me just wants to switch to Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I think I need to redo my Heart Gold and Soul Silver layout a little better than the current one I have. How does that? Be a couple times. Let's see, now I do this. There we go. We're getting closer to 1,000. Would it be 330's 1,000 between all three? Let's see. Bloop, bloop, and bloop. No shiny. Alright, let's see the stream pick up slack, please. Oh, I did it again. Start mashing the wrong buttons on the wrong controller at the wrong time. Alright. Now, guess I'm claiming it. Ooh. Cool. Now that I'm actually streaming again, it seems like people are staying some more. Thank y'all for showing up. I really appreciate it. If you want to test out to see if my sub count updates or if my notifications and stuff work. I really need a drop shadow or something on the text, don't I? Just an outline of some kind. Because you can only see them. Yeah, something to contrast it against the back of the game. Or I could center the game and put it on top, but I kind of like it being on the top game. Yeah, but notifications should be set up, chatbot set up, everything you'd want set up should be set up. So, everybody supersonic racing, trying to keep my feet right on the ground. We're just supersonic racing. There's no time to look around. We're just supersonic racing. Try to feed the point of no return. I have no idea how we'll do quad hunting on shorts. Like, it feels like only three fit safely on shorts mode. And maybe we do that. Maybe we just do 3 that you can see on shorts mode, and I'll full record 4. And then we just swap which one's on which input, so you'd be able to see it. I mean, you have a 3 out of 4 chance of seeing it on stream, and then I could just swap it if it wasn't. That might be how I do it in the future. Just do... I don't know. That sounds good. Let me know. Ooh, that reset was perfect. I love that reset. It was like they were all perfectly synced. That's the best reset I've had so far. I'm tempted to do another poll, but I don't think I will. I think my initial idea behind polls is true, where they just kind of block your view. Alright, no shiny that time either. I don't, you know, if I'm scrolling through short streams, I don't want to have the poll pop up and block half the stream. What I really need is armrests that are in a little bit. Or put the controllers on my armrest, which I guess I could do, but I don't know if I will. Ooh, these ones are nice and synced too. Cool. We're getting better at these resets. Also, more people are showing up and staying, which is good. Although I would still like to test my theory, because I feel like my theory could be correct, it could also be wrong. I don't know which one's which. Because I see the number go up, and then I see it go down. It goes up, and it goes down. That could just be people coming in and out. But it could also be people staying and lurking, and then my theory is correct, where, you know, you show up in the view count at first, but then why does it not affect the bot? That'd be the next logical question is, if it doesn't affect the bot, and the bot is always 1, then I don't know, we have to find out. Although I do want to know when it updates the sub count. It went back. Oh wait, it went up and then down and then up and down. So that's good. That is interesting. I wonder if the test subs actually counted as subs. I don't think the notification. I don't think sending the notification would do that. I think they were there before I was playing it. Ooh, that was a Jolly Nature Charmander. That was a good Charmander. You know what we could do? We could do a nature guess. You know, just do a nature guess poll for when we get the shiny. No, no polls. Polls are annoying. Let's see now. Although I would like someone to test the notifications. That'd be nice. I think they all work, but I don't know. Little Root Town! The OG Ruby and Sapphire soundtrack. I don't know why they're so out of sync. You know, I got a couple that were in sync well, and now there's a couple that are out of sync, you know. One of them's faster than the other, and it shouldn't be that way. Although I guess one is a regular Switch, one's an OLED, and one's the DS. Although, funny enough, the DS is actually keeping its paces pretty well. I think some people... I don't know if it's true on the GBA versus the DS, because I think on the GBA there's like a white screen, but you know, the white screen does exist on the DS. It's just it feels, maybe it's faster. I don't know. Does anyone know if it's actually, if you're actually faster booting up GBA games on the DS compared to the GBA? Like that white screen's longer or something? Because that's kind of what it feels like. Because there's the white screen, but it doesn't feel near as long as with the GBA. Oh, man, the number went up real quick. Thank y'all for tuning in and sticking around. I really appreciate it. We're going for Shiny Charmander. We've got 2 Switches and 1 DS on the bottom with a real cartridge of the game. And everybody left again. That's interesting. Oh well. Sub can't go brr. You can't go brr. See that? We're almost at 300 between on each game, which is good. We're 1/10 of the way there for. Actually we're almost 1/10 of the way to odds, to be honest. Well, actually, we are over 110. Other way, at 2 odds. Because 900 on each game. How could I forget to literally push the buttons to choose the thing on the one game? That seems stupid of me. Oops. And of course I choose the nickname too while I'm in a rush. Oh, well, mistakes happen, so. Kokiri Forest. Pokemon. Summary. Imagine that's the shiny. Oh, it's not. I probably have terrible luck. Officially at 300. We've done 100 encounters these streams. I've gotten so distracted. In this stream, which is over an hour long, I've only done like 30 minutes of shiny hunting. Because I spent the rest of it playing around with other stuff. Oh well. It does feel like it's doing better than the other ones, which is good. Also, if my theory is correct, there's a lot more people lurking here than I thought. But I don't know if it is. Oh, welcome in. Sorry I didn't see your chat. I apologize for that. Hello. We're doing good tonight. I finished setting up all my stream elements stuff, so sub notifications should work. The sub goal should update. We should see latest subscriber. You know, I think everything's working. If you're still here, we're doing good tonight. Oop, we gotta do that and that. I appreciate you saying hi. Sorry I didn't see it sooner. I don't know how long that was there before. I really do appreciate chatting. You know, a lot of times I can talk myself. I can talk my ass off, but it still helps to have other people around. Oh, which button is that? What's 30 seconds or less? I don't understand what you said there. What? Oh, it wasn't 30 seconds or less till. Oh, okay, I understand now. It's 30 seconds or less since I noticed your chat. Okay, cool. That's one of the things I do need to get better at is checking chat. But you know, when I'm streaming with shorts, I don't have chat on screen because you know it's kind of a waste to show chat on screen on short streams. So I have to have it open in a different tab, and so I can't just full screen the games and everything. I did have a second monitor, but my my second monitor kind of ate it, and I haven't gotten another one yet. So we're gonna lock in and do some shiny hunting. Hopefully, actually, you know, get some encounters in instead of just playing around with stream elements and stuff. Me procrastinate and get distracted? I would never. See, this is why I never post videos, because I always get distracted by projects and stuff. I don't know how well you can see the bottom screen, but how well does it look? I don't know if you're on mobile or desktop or not. Probably on mobile, but... Oh, that sucks. I'm hoping to do it quicker. That's why I'm triple hunting. Thank you for the luck. I appreciate the luck. Let's do that. Yeah. Okay. How does the bottom one look? The bottom one is a DS, so it's using the DS TV out. It is through a cheap HDMI converter, but my personal opinion is I still think it looks better than the emulator. I've never been a huge fan of emulators and the way they look. You know, like they look too good. Like you lose some of the original kind of fun of the games, if that makes any sense. I know it sounds weird, but it seems like enough people have shown interest in the DS TV out that I'm really going to develop it. Yeah. I think the blur is from the cheap HDMI converter. Because it's the DS outputting RCA and AV into a cheap RCA converter, into a multi-viewer, into my capture card. So you know, I'm really tempted to just get a dang RCA capture card and see if it looks any different. But the whole point was to run into my multi-viewer ideally. But you know, if you could do it with a $35 board, because it's a DS Lite, so it's and the DS Lite itself, you know, it's between $30 and $40 with a broken top screen, because you don't need the top screen when the top screen's outputting. So you can get the DS for 30 to 40. There's a kit for it now that's, I think, between 35 and 40 shipping and taxes. So, you know, you could build you could build a DS TV out. Oh crap, I didn't check that. That's the first time I've done that in all these resets. I was too distracted, huh? Well, hopefully we didn't reset over the shiny. Knowing my luck, that was the shiny. But, you know, comparing that to the price of a regular, fully functioning DS FAT, they go for between 60 and 80. Then you have to either have the capture card installed or install it yourself. Plus, you need the controller mod, which I've got a controller mod that I did myself using an Arduino. Because I'm not a huge fan of the company that does the DS controller mods. My personal opinion is that their stuff is overpriced for what it is. And I do understand there's engineering costs and the cost of a custom flex ribbon cable, but it still seems like for what it is, it's overpriced. When I can do the same thing using some open source hardware and open source programs. Because it's using the, right now I'm using the BluePad32 library, so I've kind of got it configured for two ways. One is where I use a controller, and the controller is mostly for GBA games since the bottom screen isn't used, and then the other one is going to be for DS, where I just kind of put it in front of me instead of using the controller, so that I can still interact with the touchscreen for certain hunts. And then I've got macros programmed for both, so I've got controller macros programmed, and then I've got buttons that I can program for macros on it. If you want to know more, you should go check out my shorts or my Instagram forum. I don't know if I have a command for it. Bum bum bum. Ba-da-da-da-da. Let's see. No shiny, and no shiny. Definitely picking up in pace quite a bit. Now that I'm actually shiny hunting. I do need to check what I started at again. Let's see, no Charmander, no Charmander, and no Charmander. Let's see. I love this one. This is another one of my favorites. The Snowbell City just has such a good soundtrack, too. X and Y are the GOAT. It's not that bad to stream hunts. And you could just stream from your phone. The problem is, phone streaming is pretty damn terrible. Like, I don't know what YouTube was thinking, but I've tried it, and it's just terrible. I don't know if it's a network problem, because my camera's quality was good, but I think it was a network problem from the phone. But you know, you can get used capture cards, or you can get a capture card for under 100. And multi-viewers have actually come down too. So what I've got is I have a multi-viewer and a capture card, and I think the multi-viewer at the time I bought it was 80 or 90, and the capture card was a little over 100. But now capture cards have become so much more common that they're down depending on which one you get, and then the multi-viewer is down to like 60. So if you wanted to do both at the same time, you could do it for probably under $200. A lot of your time would be setting it up and figuring out how the software works, and depending on, you know, stream elements versus, or yeah, depending OBS versus slobs, which is just Streamlabs versus OBS. They're a little different to learn and figure out. Oh, I did remember a story I was gonna tell chat. One of the first full odds hunts I did was I believe Shiny Totodile in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. When I got my copy, I knew I wanted to get I knew I wanted to shiny hunt it. And I was just reminiscing about this the other day. Oh, I see. I mean, you could absolutely do it with your phone. I've actually seen people do it. Hell, I've actually streamed my Switches from my phone just for fun before. It was actually mostly because I didn't have a way to record my DS, so I'm like, fuck it. We'll just put the I put in my camera at a 3DS and a couple Switches at the same time while streaming and just kind of goofing around. And you know, people did show up. I mean, it's, you know, you don't have to have the perfect quality. I mean, look at, I don't know if you know Absolblog's Pokemon, but he still does like, you know, camera stuff, even though he's got the recording capture for some of it. I don't think he does live filming for the Switches because they're a little bit too big to live film, but he live films his DS hunts and some older ones too. Like, you know, you don't necessarily need the hardware to do it. You can absolutely do it. Like, I remember what I did was, once I got access to my 3D printer, I just started 3D printing stuff. Like, recently, I wanted my audio quality to improve, so I 3D printed a mic boom I found on the internet, and it significantly helps dampen the sound and stuff. And I 3D printed, like, a camera holder for filming with my phone. You know. But a lot of what I've started doing is I've started building mods to myself that I can. That's part of why I went with the DSTV outboard. Is it's cheaper to build yourself, it's open source, and I can do whatever controller mod I want. I don't know how much the component cost has changed on it if you do the Night board, but... Oh, Discord. What message did I just get on Discord? I heard a Discord message, but I didn't see one on my phone. That is interesting. It's not in my Discord, not in Amy's Discord. Must have been in one of the other servers I'm in that don't matter much. You can become tech savvy. It's not, you know, it doesn't take much to learn. I mean, I've learned... Before I started working on it, I didn't know anything really about C++, and I've learned how to program Arduino in C++. I've learned how to do CAD design. You know, you just got to start somewhere, and it's, you know. And I do recommend starting with Streamlabs if you're going to stream from a computer or something. What I've done in the past before, I don't know what phone you have, so I'm assuming it's an Android given your current situation you just said. There's an adapter you can get for HDMI conversion, so you can actually do the camera. You can input your camera and stuff. Which is what I have for mine, too. I recorded a couple Pokemon Go hunts using an adapter, but, you know, depending on what phone you have, you can do it over network, too. But in my experience, I have not found a good app for broadcasting my camera over a network to record it from a computer. There might be a couple better ones now, but I don't know. I mean, maybe I can just make one myself, to be honest. I have been playing around with the 3DS one a little more, where learning more about the a UDP video streams, modifying the I've been modifying the 3DS streamer. Yeah, my recommendation is if you are going to stream from some older hardware, I'd recommend putting a Linux kernel on it. Windows is way too resource heavy for streaming, especially from older hardware. But like, I'm streaming and recording from older hardware right now because I've put Ubuntu on my machine. So, like, if you want to know what I'm streaming from, this is a regular AM3 CPU, not an AM3 Plus CPU, with with DDR3 RAM. I've got 32 gigs of it because I did upgrade that. And then I've got, what's the other word? Did I miss one? Oh, I missed one, yeah. Then I've got an RX 470 as my GPU. And I'm able to stream like this with that hardware because I'm running a Linux kernel, which basically has no requirements to run. It's like I've ran a Minecraft server from a fucked up laptop that my brother had. He has one that they use an APU, and when I tore into it, someone had dropped it or something, or peeled it up, and the APU had peeled away from, or the heatsink had peeled away from the APU, and it overheated, which jumped the it junked the video section of the chip. But I booted a simple version of Ubuntu onto it, and I was able to run it as a Minecraft server. Like, you can do a lot with some old hardware and using the right OS. My dad actually recently did that. My brother needed cash, so my dad bought his old laptop, and he put Ubuntu on it, and was surprised that, you know, even on some older machines, it's still I mean, an Ubuntu laptop is great for programming and just kind of taking anywhere you need it to and just doing a lot of stuff. I do really need to eventually upgrade my hardware, but, you know, I did see that the RAM prices are finally going to come back down, which is nice. But, you know, I got to have some income before I can do that, so... But yeah, I would definitely look into... You could try streaming from the phone directly, but I've never had that work. Like, the quality is so poor that it kind of sucks. I don't know why the quality is so poor. Even like it was my flagship phone, right? I mean, it was a couple years ago when I think I get the flagships a couple years after they release because they go on sale, but it was still a new flagship. You know, even if it was a couple years old, and I don't know if it's a network problem, like it just doesn't have the capability of the bandwidth to send that much data to and from. Like, if you're that much better wired, but I don't know. But you could buy like a cheap capture card. They do make cheaper capture cards. I don't necessarily recommend them, but personally, I've been using an AverMedia capture card for 4 or 5 years now. I've never had any problems with it. I wanted to steer away from the Elgato stuff. You know, Elgato, they made a good product for a while, and then they kind of just made so much shit, like the Stream Deck and a bunch of other stuff that you just don't need. That's, you know, more expensive than you need. Like, I'd probably buy the AverMedia one again over anything from Elgato. But that's just my honest opinion. I don't like what Elgato kind of became. You know, you had to have an Elgato to stream. You know, you had to have the Stream Deck and all this stuff. I'm like, no, I can do all of that elsewhere, you know? Like, I actually saw a video that the other day where someone's like, fuck you, Elgato, I'm going to make my own Stream Deck. And they made their own Stream Deck. Because if you think about it, really, the Stream Deck is just running commands. And all you have to do is, you know, okay, well, how do I do this command? Well, I push a button and it issues the command, you know? Like, it's not that complicated what they're doing, and then selling it for a large amount. I personally just set up button combos for layout changes. So I use Control plus a bunch of buttons for my layout changes. I am currently 22. I turned 22 in January. I've been doing this since high school. I don't stream as often. I don't record as often, but I want to get back into it a little more. I've had a couple of Instagram reels do real well, so I think, if possible, I'd like to move into the kind of buying and selling some custom consoles that I've made. It seems like there's enough interest in them, especially the DS ones. I was surprised at how many people are actually interested in the TV out stuff and how many people didn't know it existed. But the DS TV out stuff was first found late 2021, early 2022. I don't remember when they released their board and when some of the kits came out. But you know, there is there's one kit that everybody buys now, even though the original board is open source. So I think what I want to do is integrate my case into that board. So use that board in my existing case, and then release it, and then start selling them that way. Because the way I look at it is, the capture card itself, the DS capture card, is kind of complicated. Like you said, you weren't tech savvy, so you'd probably have an issue with setting up the DS capture card, because the DS capture card requires a software. So what you have to do is you have to, you have to get it and either have it installed or install it yourself, which is a bit tricky. And then, and then you have to download the software, which depending on what OS you're running is different, and you have to figure out what settings you need, and you have to import them into it. And it's not that difficult, but for some people, I'd imagine, like I had a friend who got a 3DS capture card where he had some issues with it at first, and then his friend helped him figure it out. But I was thinking, from a capture perspective, not only would the DS TV out be cheaper than the capture card, because you can use a broken DS Lite, and you can do the kit itself is 35. It's realistically closer to 40 by the time it's shipping and taxes, but I mean, that's $80. And if you have an existing capture card like me, which is what part of the reason I kind of moved toward that, I just integrated it into my capture card multi-viewer setup, and then I was good to go. Instead of, setting up the software and stuff. I do have the skills to install a capture card if I wanted to. And I do have a project I'm planning on doing with a DS capture card. I'm hesitant to say what I plan to do with it, because I don't want anyone to steal the idea. But I guess I've already put it out there in a couple of forums and stuff, so, we might as well talk about it. What I'd like to do is make kind of so rather than having it rather than using a full working DS console, you take just a motherboard, and you have it run, you install the capture card on it, and then instead of running that into a desktop and setting it up on a desktop, you run it using like a mini PC. So you use an Arduino, or not, you use a Raspberry Pi, you run a simple OS, and that OS runs the software, and then that is like a consoleized version of it. But it will be more complicated because I want to do quite a few things with it. So first of all, I want to integrate the touchscreen support, so I need to modify the software quite a bit so that I could potentially get touchscreen support working. Basically, getting the touch inputs onto the Raspberry Pi. Controller inputs are easy, you just wire them up to ground and pins. And then the other thing I wanted to do was potentially microphone, which would probably be the hardest. Another thing that's difficult is actually getting audio into something like that, because the DS family do not natively expose digital audio. They only expose analog audio, so to get the audio into the Raspberry Pi might be tricky as well. Like, I feel like there's so many reasons why the consolizer kits, because there have been a few people who've talked about consolizer kits, but once you get into the amount of the cost of the hardware and the challenges that come with it, end up no one ever actually released one. I mean, you're competing with the capture card market, right? I mean, if I can just capture it and plug it in, why would I do that? There's controller mods and capture cards, so that's the market you're competing with. So I was thinking, we just use the existing capture card stuff to build a consoleized version of a DS by modifying the software and doing some stuff with the hardware. And I don't know, I've done a couple of rough cost estimations where, a loose DS motherboard's 20 to 30. And then you would need a custom PCB. You need the Arduino, depending on which Arduino we can get to work. I don't know which ones we could get to work. Oh, Crazy Kevin, thank you for subscribing to the channel. I didn't even know you were here. I don't even know how long ago you subscribed or if you said anything in chat, but sometimes it takes a delay. Thank you for that. Although I did not hear the audio with that. So, let's see, it was this one? It says control audio via OBS, but well, now I gotta test this. I don't know how long it actually took to recognize that. I gotta play around with this for a second, because I need to make sure that the audio is working on some of these, which seems weird that it wouldn't, but... Overlays... I'm gonna test the notification box. Then we're gonna test this. Dashboard. Activity feed. That was 8 minutes ago. It took 8 minutes to show up on stream. That's nuts. Okay, I can hear it as long as I have that open. That was weird. Maybe I just keep that open, lol. And then, let's see, we're going to go back to... We're going to replay this activity real quick. And then we'll go here to... We're going to show up chat. And here. Okay. Okay, back to recording. There we go. I don't even know who Crazy Kevin is or why, like, they didn't show up in chat or anything. They must just be a lurker who decided to sub, which is interesting. I didn't even know there were those types of people existed. Or I guess they could have come from Instagram or one of those other ones. So, you need to go here. Oh, this is Aura's domain. This one got copy striked last time. Of course, it's quiet enough you guys can't even hear it, so... I hate how much difference there is in the audio, too. Like, sometimes the music's loud enough to hear, sometimes it's not. It's weird. Hey, the goal actually updated. I was worried the goal wouldn't update, but yeah, the goal updated too. Let's go. Exclamation mark goal in the chat, I believe. Hold on, let me do this. I do need to update some of these, but I believe they still work. Maybe it's not. Oh, there it is. I don't even remember what half of them do, so... I do have to remove a few of them as well. I think I do have to disable a few of them eventually. Let's see. What does that one do? Oh, they're challenge rules. Oh, that's for the oh, what's it called? That's for a challenge run I did in Tears of the Kingdom. I do have to double check a lot of these, make sure they still work and are what I need them to do, and I probably need to delete some, add some, you know. I want to do exclamation mark. Let's see. Sub goal. Yeah, let's do sub goal, which I might change to goal. I don't know, does it work? Does it have to be exclusive for that? It might have to be exclusive for that. I think it does have to be, let's see, sub. Yeah. That one works too. Alright. Oh, it is working. For a second I thought my thing wasn't working. Like, why is my block not working? It's working. We've done an hour of actual hunting. So I need to go back to this. Here. Channel. Here. Go here. And we do... What was I at? What did I start at? 255? So we've done... Yeah, it does seem like it's almost 2 a minute, doesn't it? Because I've done... No, it's only been an hour and I've done barely 100. Well, I've done more than 100 an hour, so... Yeah, it's probably around 2 a minute. Not quite 2 a minute. Not bad. I mean, not good, but not bad. Wondering if I should change the title still. I guess I could still change the title, but I don't know. I know one of those is my chat bot, and one of them is probably me, so. B button. Here. Oh, no. I wonder how far Ambi's got. Yay, we've officially done an hour of shiny hunting on this stream, even though the stream's almost 3 hours long. Is it 2 hours long? It's 2 hours long. Let me go back to you real quick. We've officially hit an hour of actual hunting time, not just goofing around. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. Let's go, people. Ooh, they're nice and sync this time. I love it when they sync up well. I wonder if I need to change the timing of when I stream. I guess I could stream to Instagram too. That'd be funny. Let's see, bloop, bloop, and bloop. Was the Twitch chat or was the YouTube chat poll wrong? Are we not getting the Charmander tonight? I feel like I must honor the Twitch chat or the YouTube chat recommendations. In the poll, they said it would shine tonight, which means it must. Ooh, we did officially hit over 1,000 between all three. Let's go. Where's Ambi's stream? There's Ambi's stream. He was doing EV. That's funny. Let's see. Check the chat. No shiny. Bloop, bloop, and bloop. Do that. They're nice and synced up again. Not. They're not synced up at all. $6.24, is that? I wonder whose that one was. That's cool. That is a lot of subs in one night. Ooh, I wish you luck on your Zapdos hunt. Oh, do this. Let's see. No, we don't want nicknames. Are you doing 3 games, or are you only doing 2? It'd be cool if there was someone else who was doing DS and Switch at the same time, because I like doing that, so. Okay, yeah. But between the two of us, you know, one of us should get the shiny, you know. Statistically, our odds all add up, you know. Which means statistically, between 5 games, both of us, you know, that's gotta be, what, almost 600 an hour, you know? Obviously, between both of us, one of us should get the shiny. How many encounters did your Charmander take? We just had a jolly Charmander reset too. That's nice. Let's see. I need to go back to my own now. Oh, that one needs to go here, then spam the B buttons. You may have just verified my theory. 12 plus hours for 7 days. Wait, was that 12 hours a day for 7 days? Or was that 12 hours total between 7 days? Because we were doing 12 hours a day for 7 days. That is a lot of hunting, even between multiple games. I really do want to add my 4th DS in, but I gotta find a real copy of Fire Red. I have found one. I'm waiting to see if the price drops. It's kind of just stagnating. But you may have just confirmed my theory, because if you've been lurking and it hasn't been counting towards the view count, then I think my theory may be right. Where, you know, if you're not constantly talking in chat, it, Oh, I see. Wait, does that mean you have all 3 starters already? Because that would be awesome. You got the starters already. This is what I love about shiny hunting, you know? Just sitting down, talking to people while you hunt, hanging out. Listen to, well, I got this one. No, I got this one, you know? Just listen to everyone. But was it 12 hours a day for 7 days between on one Switch? Or was it 12 total hours between 7 days? I'd imagine it'd be 12 hours for 7 days, which would be... What is that? 12 times 7, my math is... My brain does not want to work. Oh, man, you've had some good luck then. I wish I could have that kind of luck. I'm not going to go for the Magikarp, but I am going to go for the Lapras, the Snorlax, you know, all the common ones. I do think I want to do a lot of them in Let's Go as well eventually, but what I'm seriously considering is doing, you know, daily streams where we do different regions every day. So I've got a bunch of hunts. What I want to do is digital versus physical and original versus remake, kind of, you know, shiny hunting versus, where we see what we do, who gets better luck. So set up quad hunting on 2 3DSs and 2 DSs at the same time for Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Do 2 Switches and 2 DSs for Diamond and Pearl. And do Ruby and Sapphire and Auroth at the same time. And kind of just start with, you know, I'm not going to do the starters in Gen 4, but... Wow, that's crazy. Let's see, how many encounters does that have to be? If we're guessing how many encounters that is, at roughly 120 an hour, that would be roughly... That'd be 1,144, or, yeah, 1,444 a day, right? Which means at 1,000 plus a day, you're at 7,000 plus the 4 times 7. So you must have been at 10, 11,000, something like that. Which isn't bad. I mean, that's not that far over odds. But it's not by no means lucky. At least it's not as bad as Broseiden's luck. I've been watching his Dream Team quest and stuff. And he had some terrible luck with his Dream Team in Fire Red and Leaf Green on the physical cartridges. But my personal opinion is that partially has to do with the trainer ID. Because, you know, the RNG, it's PRNG, so it's not truly random. And I think he reset for lucky trainer IDs, or, you know, specific trainer IDs. And I do think that the trainer ID and the name does have an impact on your shiny odds, which You know, it doesn't make sense mathematically, but it does make sense from the way they generate. Wow, that is, yeah, that is some luck right there. Congrats on all your shinies. Ooh, how long ago tonight? I want a shiny tonight is what I want. It's been too long since I got a shiny. But I know I won't get one. I really need to finish building my other DS. But I gotta order parts for it still. But yeah, I think you did confirm my theory about lurkers. I bet you there's more people lurking here than the viewer count says. I think YouTube copied Twitch. And if you're not engaging in chat, you're not counted as a viewer count. Which is ridiculous. That is how a lot of people do them. Certainly better than the Dream Team quest, where you have to get it on that specific save file. I'm not sure I could do a DTQ or a one save file only, shiny only. I think I have to do multi-hunting. That is one of the lovely things about having an official digital release, being able to do save files from different accounts and trade between them easily. Acceptably efficient. You don't necessarily need to be efficient, you know. The important thing is the journey, not the destination. All right. Let's see. You're completely. Ooh, another time they. What do you think of the layout? I haven't asked you about the layout yet. I spent more time doing this layout than I should have, but I think it turned out really well at mimicking the artwork on the games, which wasn't my original intention. My original intention was to do like a fiery effect on one side and a leafy effect on the other, but by the time I had the fiery effect and I swirled it, it mimicked the game art so well that I just copied it over and applied a hue and saturation change to make it green. It ended up matching the games really well with the fiery swirls. Let's see now. I've gotten way better at layouts. Get away from here, modest. You stupid modest Charmander. How dare you be modest nature? We don't want a modest Charmander. No one wants a modest Charmander in these games. I don't actually know what nature is good for Charmander in these games. Like, honestly, since fire is special, but attack is physical, but flying is physical, it almost seems like you'd be better off with a neutral nature running a mixed attacker instead of buffing one stat or the other. But who knows? Ooh, the goal updated again. Cool. I think I've gotten 4 subs in this one single stream. Like, it's doing better than it used to. I don't know. With the physical special split, I feel like you'd be better off doing it a mixed attacker. Like, that's how I play through these games. I actually had a couple... The people were giving me shit because I put a Jolteon on my team. And I think I made it a mixed attacker because I wanted to give it a... Because it had decent coverage for some other moves that I needed. Like, I put Iron Tail on it, and I ran it as a mixed attacker. Because, you know, that's kind of how it feels like you're better off running them with the physical special split. You know, you run a bunch of mons that get different coverage, and then kind of run them as a mixed attacker. I feel like I'd use Aerial Ace. I think it gets Aerial Ace. Because, honestly, you almost have to run Aerial Ace on whatever you... I guess... If you got another Pokemon that learned Aerial Ace, then... Oops, wrong button. Then I would definitely say you could do... But what other coverage does Charizard get? Because you only need one fire move and one flying move. But I guess if it gets enough other special attack coverage, you could make it work with only special attack. But I really think that you know because you'd want something with Aerial Ace, you know. And I don't even remember if Charizard gets Aerial Ace. I think it does. But I think on my playthrough that I have on another account, I did a Dodrio, and I'd never used one before, but it was actually pretty fun to use, being flying normal. Yeah, in these games, you really want to focus on some of that stuff, although it's more about EV training in these games. So you want to make sure you EV train in these games. Otherwise, you have to grind to an absurd amount of levels. Like, when I've been replaying my Pokemon games, I've actually been replaying them, you know. I used to just kind of be one of those players who, you know, leveled up only a few Pokemon, or I would trade over my high-level Pokemon from another account and just breeze through the game. But when I've been replaying... Oh, that's cool. Yeah, if you started on blue version, then you're good. I mean, you know, you know how it works. But I found in these games that you really want to EV train, because my train of thought was, in my playthrough, I actually had a balanced team with balanced items and balanced movesets. And I battled every single trainer I could find, and I was still under-leveled by the time I made it through all 8 gym badges in the Sevi Islands without needing to grind a whole lot. But after that, you know, by the time I reached the Elite Four, I was still drastically under-leveled, so I made sure to rebattle a bunch of Pokemon while EV training my Mons correctly. And I went in at level 55, I think, and managed to do really well in the E4 and the Champion with a balanced team, balanced items, as well as some decent EV training. And that was with natures that were bad, so my luck with normal playthroughs and Nuzlockes is I always get the worst possible nature on my playthrough Mons. I think I had a modest Mankey, and I went with a Squirtle, but I got a physical attacking Squirtle. Like, it was, I think, Adamant or Jolly or something. So, you know, I have terrible natures on some of my playthrough Mons because I just get terrible luck when I catch them, and I don't want to have to reset because I already chose them, I already nicknamed it, you know. Like, I bet you this Charmander will be a terrible nature. Ooh, they linked up again. Oh, I love when they do that. I should stop saying that, but you know, knowing that they synced up perfectly is nice. Makes a nice reset, makes a nice check. Let's see. Nope. And nope. If you had to guess, I'm gonna tell you this. I have played through Fire Red on another account on the Switch. Leaf Green I haven't played through again, and then this is a physical copy of Leaf Green that's had a few playthroughs on it and never found a shiny. So if you had to guess, which game would you say the shiny would show up on, and how many encounters between on that game or between all three do you think it will happen on? Because, you know, everyone knows, as I've been saying, the shiny doesn't show up when at odds. The shiny shows up whenever chat says. So if chat says I'm going to get a shiny, the shiny shows up. If chat says no shiny shows up. Because that's obviously how shiny hunting works. You know, it's not RNG. It's not 188-192. It's obviously whatever chat says. Top screen 1239. The top Fire Red or Leaf Green? Oh wait, never mind. I'm looking at their other layout. So top screen is Fire Red. Sorry, I was looking at my other layout. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, I keep forgetting that my shorts layout and my regular layout that I'm recording on are different, and I'm not streaming from the regular layout. Yeah, so top screen is fire red, and I would be okay with 1239. 1239 would not be bad at all. I mean, that's half odds, roughly half odds, a little under half odds. That would not be bad at all between all three games. I remember when these games first released on the Switch and people were getting super fast shinies, and everybody was like, oh, did they modify the shiny odds? And then you see those couple people who are just going through hell, you know, going way over odds. It's like, maybe they are still, you know, standard shiny odds. Although I do think that they fixed some of the RNG issues with the bugs as well. So, although maybe they didn't, because I have heard that in their testing, what has happened is what they found in testing is that with like a turbo controller, if you're doing macros that reset for you, you're inputting the same frames often enough where you're actually checking duplicate Pokemon because you're inputting frame perfect inputs at the, you know, repeatedly. I thought that was interesting, and how the odds change based on how you input. Which is also where my question came up for, you know, if you have a controller mod and you have one console controlling all of them at the same time, even though they're different trainer IDs and different games, different trainer IDs, you know, would you still be hitting some of the similar frames between two games if they're different trainer IDs and different encounters? And that is an interesting question that I was going to pose. Because, you know, I see a lot of people where they do it kind of... There are kind of two ways that people do it, where there's one that has a giant controller mod with a bunch of physical copies in different accounts. And the other one is they dump the save file, and then they just encounter on that save file a bunch after duplicating it. But what I've seen is that when they duplicate the same save file, you know, they do a bunch, even though they're like doing 9 to who knows how many games at the same time, they still go over odds in a lot of hunts between 9 games, like way over odds. And I think part of that is because you're using the same account. And again, depending on what type of hunt you're doing, I think that'll the reset hunt specifically, where because you're using a controller mod with the same save file, some of them you're hitting similar frames, similar encounters, and things like that. I don't know exactly how it would work. I don't know how much of that changes or not, but it's certainly an interesting mood for thought, you know, where... Let's see now. Here we go. We're getting close to 1,200 total. And I wish I could have some of that shiny luck from some people, like, what is it, the Bald Gamer? I don't know his name. I don't know if he's ever said his name on stream or not. But he was doing a Nuzlocke, failed the Nuzlocke, and then after resetting the Nuzlocke, the first encounter he got a shiny, and I'm like, I wish I could get that kind of luck. I've had good full odds luck in the past, just, you know, not that good of full odds luck. And I guess if that many people are playing on release, then you're bound to have some people who, you know, randomly get the shiny starter. Yeah, was my rambling a dopamine overload? The tech specs of stuff, yeah. Sorry about that. Continue cat. That one needs to keep going. Those two need to hit B. That one needs to hit A. That one needs to hit B. Then they all need to hit A. We're officially at... I'm not sure I'm familiar with that colloquialism, the no starring with a shiny like that. Did you mean like not starting? Oh, that makes sense. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That makes more sense now, yeah. Sorry. I actually think it's more of a dopamine overload after you go over odds. So when you've gone over odds, like way over odds, and then you finally get the shiny, you have it's such a bigger reaction than even under odds hunts. And I think I've seen that in YouTubers too, where, you know, the doubled odds hunts get bigger reactions than the first encounter hunts. Like when I was re-binging, I was re-binging a bunch of old A Drive shiny reactions, and like his Suicune 1 is probably more, you know, more exciting than the Palkia or the Articuno. Of course, because the bastard was lucky enough to get 2 first encounter shinies within a few years of each other. Double hunting between 2 systems. You got a first encounter shiny Charmander? Oh, or your first... Yeah, you might have to give more context. Is that a first encounter Charmander? Or, like, you got your first Charmander way after odds, and... I'm not sure I could ever do the Gen 4 starters. I do have a copy of Platinum. I don't know if it's real or fake. I mean, like... Oh, I don't know why I thought you said... I don't know. For some reason, my brain likes to mix up Charmander and whatever the other one is, Chimchar. I don't know why my brain does that. It does. Like, whenever people say Char, I think, oh, Chimchar. Even though Char means Charmander. Sorry about that. Yeah, that makes sense, because you were over odds. You weren't too far over odds, but yeah. I think my biggest reaction is Shiny Cranidos, because the story behind the Cranidos is... back when BDSP came out, I was doing the glitch for Shiny Shaman, and I was just pounding out Shaman encounters per day on stream. And I got to over 9,000 encounters in a 1 in 4096 game. Yeah, I'm kind of weird, but basically what happened was I accidentally updated my game, so I couldn't do the Shaman glitch anymore, so it's like, oh man, I'll just go hunt something else. And I decided to do a fossil hunt, and the fossil came really fast after the Shaman hunt. I don't remember how many encounters it was. I think it was only a few hundred, so that's probably the biggest reaction I've had on YouTube, was that one. It has a lot of cursing in it, too. I didn't realize until I was rewatching some of my old videos how much I curse in some of the old Shiny reactions. It's, like, nuts. Of course, older, more mature me is like, did I really need to curse that much? You know, I curse, like, I swear like a sailor when I'm working on stuff, but... that was a lot even for, like, me. And I'm kind of more of a... I've become kind of more of a shiny charm odds, where I don't like method hunting. I prefer hunting at full odds or the shiny charm odds. Because it's just so much easier and it feels more rewarding, you know? Method hunts have become way too quick. Like, they used to be... They used to take a little bit of effort. Like, Poker Radar took effort and still take hours. And, like, Dexnab took some effort, and then SOS encounters were like, okay, you know, these still take a while. They're not too quick, because, you know, you have to... You still have to do the setup and pay attention. But, you know, at the end of the day, I really come to, you know what, I'm just going to do Shiny Charm odds and full odds hunting, you know. The reason I'm okay with Shiny Charm odds is because, you know, it takes effort to get the Shiny Charm. You have to complete the decks, and I feel like, you know, that's absolutely worth it. And that's one of the things that I actually liked about Legend of Arceus was, instead, you know, before massive mass outbreaks and a bunch of outbreak hunts, it was really cool that you could specifically increase your odds of one Pokemon by doing research tasks. I thought that was a really cool way to make the shiny hunt worth it, because you had to go through and you had to finish the research tasks to raise your odds and then go hunt the Pokemon. I really like that, you know, when you have to put effort in, you know, even though it's a quicker hunt, you still have to go through the effort of, okay, here's the amount of time it took me to get the shiny charm. Here's the amount of time it took me to do all those research tasks, you know, and that's why I'm more of a charm hunter and a full odds hunter when I can. I do still need to finish. I am testing the shiny charm in BDSP because I don't believe the data miners were correct. I think that there's a possibility that the shiny charm does work in BDSP on certain encounters, so I do still need to finish testing that at some point. I don't know when I'll test it though, but I was basically you know, I want to do a bunch of hunts in BDSP and finish testing, but I think I need to get a Switch 2 to do that, just because the encounters are so much faster. So I started it on my regular Switches, but the encounters were slow enough. You know, they're not too slow between a few Switches, because I was borrowing my brother's as well, but I think personally I would rather do, let's see, what's the word? I would rather test it on Switch 2 because of how much faster the encounters are. But the reason I got the Shiny Charm in BDSP was because of Specifically dive balls. I want to catch Dialga in a dive ball, but the only way to get dive balls in BDSP is through the guy that you have to show Pokemon to. So I completed the dex specifically for showing that guy the Pokeballs to get dive balls. So I now have a bunch of dive balls from that. And it just so happened that I could get the shiny charm, the oval charm, and the catching charm, and whatever else it is when you do that. So I have all the charms and everything in BDSP from doing that, and I do want to test it a little more in the future. Probably once I can quad hunt using the original Diamond Pearl and the BDSP. So, but one thing that I did find interesting is they updated BDSP after the Switch 2 release, but they updated on both the regular Switches and the Switch 2, and it actually performs better on the regular Switches and the Switch 2 now. So resets are faster than they used to be even on the regular Switch. They're not as fast as Switch 2 resets, but they're still faster than they used to be, which I found interesting after taking that update. Oh, wrong button again. How many times am I going to push the wrong button on the wrong controller? Do 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 do. I didn't realize the music stopped at some point. Let's see, you got those two, and those two. You haven't, or you have played it? Now you're confusing me. Oh, there's it. I was like, where's my music then? It's just really quiet Minecraft OST. I'd recommend Emerald. If you've played Diamond and Pearl, you don't necessarily need BDSP. But, you know, I do think BDSP are overly hated. I think they came out in a time where you just believe everything that anyone on the internet says. So if someone on the internet says bad is bad, you know, there's no real independent thought when it comes to game criticization. If someone on the internet says it, it must be true. But I think that BDSP are the most complete on the Switch because there's no DLC for it. You have a complete Pokedex without DLC, right? So you can do all Gen 1 through 4 Pokemon using the Underground, all the Legendaries using Ramanos Park. You have new features in the Underground and the Ramanos Park. And, you know, you've got a new Elite, you've got an updated Elite Four, updated Champion. You got really good, you got updated music, updated sprites, you know. So in terms of cost to content, you know, it was a complete game, and it is the most complete game on the Switch, where they didn't have you know, you didn't have to have extra $35 DLC to get the complete version where you have, you know, more Pokemon, more post-game content. But my problem with it was really the reused assets. So they reused Sword and Shield's following animations and overworld encounters. They reused Sword and Shield's... well, they reused the same 3D sprites they reused in all the 3D Pokemon games. And they reused a bunch of code. So it's like, why am I paying $60 for a game that has a bunch of reused code? So I wish they would have done more in terms of new stuff to kind of remedy that, instead of, oh, here's a new game full price with all these reused assets, you know. Or, you know, they could have used reused assets to make it a little better. Like, one of my biggest criticisms of the following animations, they're just like, really, they sucked in Sword and Shield, they sucked in BDSP because they copied the Sword and Shield animations. And my thing with since BDSP is chibi, I think that the best option would be to go with the Pokemon Rumble sprites, because they have almost a complete Pokedex of Rumble sprites between the Rumble games. So I think it would have been cool to do the Rumble sprite animations for the following Pokemon instead. I think that would have looked amazing instead of those. And, you know, just things like that, you know, that would make it feel like a little bit less reused assets and more... Like, one of the things I saw someone suggest, which I think would be really cool, is you can use the same 3D models and the same kind of engine as them, but you just move the model around a little bit in a way that it mimics the original animation. So the original idle animation, instead of having the same idle animations you've had for, you know, we went through X and Y, Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield with all the same 3D animations. You would just you'd modify the model slightly so that it would mimic the original encounter pose from the original games. I thought that would be a great idea, you know. It's just one of those subtle changes where it's not too much work, but it would work really well for their idle poses. You know, just little things like that I feel like could make it absolutely worth the full price of the game. Instead of, you know, it was almost there in terms of a really good remake, but because of the cost and the amount of reused code, it wasn't quite there. That one needs that still. But I'd recommend finding a used copy if you can. It's... because the music is awesome. The graphic update's pretty good. Like, the Grand Underground is a lot of fun. I've spent a lot of time in the Grand Underground because that's one of my favorite things about it is, you know, the updated Grand Underground from the original Diamond and Pearl, where, you know, you can find statues, put them in your base, you can encounter Pokemon in the Grand Underground. I was kind of hoping they'd update BDSP once these games came out to do what original Diamond and Pearl did, where if you have the GBA Pokemon game inserted into the slot, it would give you specific encounters. I was kind of hoping they'd do that, like, oh, you have a Fire Red save? Go to the Great Marsh and encounter Ekin, or encounter Arbok. You know, but I don't think they did that. It would have been really cool if they did, but there's a lot of really cool things they could have tried with these, but I feel like a lot of them would have been a lot of work. Like, there are so many people complaining, like, oh, why can't I trade between my physical copy and my digital? It's like, because they completely rebuilt the trading system from the ground up, because the GBA used serial communication, and serial communication is pretty precise, and they completely reworked it into a Wi-Fi trading system instead. Which is not bad at all. The trading and battling in these games is pretty seamless as long as you're local. And as much as I think it'd be cool to have online, I understand why they couldn't do it, because it would mean you'd have to completely update the rating systems, you'd have to remove things from the game, and, you know, because of certain ratings in certain countries, you have to keep it as much of the same as you can. So we're almost at 1,200 between the starters. You know what? Maybe your total estimate will be it'd be cool if it were 1,239 total, you know, between all four of them. That's when we get it, 1,239 total, not necessarily 12. It looks like people are done showing up tonight. Oh wow. I've just gotten them slowly over time. Some of them I've had used, some of them I bought new. The other one I'm missing is Legend ZA, and I'm not paying a new price for that. That is like, ZA is so fucking greedy, it's not even funny. Like, it's literally like, we're gonna have the same price of our game, but we're gonna make the map way smaller. We're gonna have less overall features. We're not even gonna add any new Pokemon. We're only gonna give you new Megas. And they want to charge full price for it. It's like, the thing I hate about the Pokemon development is they'll do a new thing and they'll do it really well, right? Like ZA, one of the things it does really well is character customization, but the new thing comes at the cost of cutting something else, and, you know, they have and the other thing that really pisses me off about Legends ZA is the fucking budget. Like, you're telling me you're gonna give me a game with less budget, a smaller map, less Pokemon, and only new Mega Evolutions for full price, with a lower development budget than the previous games. Like, it's just fucking greedy as hell. Like, it's disgustingly greedy. But then they went ahead and released these for 20 bucks each, and I think 20 bucks is too cheap given supply and demand. Honestly, I think they should have released these for 30. Like, I don't want to pay 30, but like I think they could have absolutely released these for 30 given supply and demand, how many people are buying them, how many people are playing them, you know. I'm not saying I wish they were 30, I'm saying they probably could have gotten away with selling it for 30. But they did a really good job on the re-release. Like, I was a little skeptical of it, but, like, you know, they fixed bugs. It looks good. Like, they made the emulator look good. It upscales well. And, you know, everything's readable. And you can trade locally, and it's pretty seamless trading locally and battling locally. Like, they did a really good job on these re-releases. And, you know, a lot of people are like, it's just dragging it up. I'm like, nope. You know, they have an emulator. That emulator has to be able to trade over network, which is something most emulators don't do. You know, so there's a lot of things they changed. They fixed bugs. They released old things. Like they just did a really good job with them for 20 bucks. You know, even though the timing of releasing them was a little bit suspicious. And you know, I'm not gonna go into that. What I think might have caused Fire Red and Leaf Green to be released, because the logical conclusion is they're just re-releasing old games every 10 years. So for the 20-year anniversary, they re-released Red, Blue, and Yellow on the 3DS. And then they released Gold, Silver, and Crystal the year after that. And now on the 30th anniversary, we have Fire Red and Leaf Green. And next year, we'll probably get Ruby and Sapphire. That's the logical conclusion. But since they released it in 2026 with all the Epstein stuff going on, my joke was that someone at Nintendo is on the Epstein list, so they, the reason they released Fire Red and Leaf Green was to distract from the Epstein stuff, because someone at Nintendo's in the Epstein stuff. I've no merit for that claim. It was just kind of, you know, oh, they're releasing Fire Red and Leaf Green, which no one thought they'd do, which must mean that someone at Nintendo is on the Epstein. Oh, fun fact about me. I do share a birthday with Junichi Masuda. So if I'm ever hunting in certain games on my birthday, there are certain things. See, that one needs to go there now. Check. Oh, we officially had 1,200 between all three games. Cool. I'll be placing blocks and shit, 'cause I'm in fucking Minecraft. Goldenrod City. Goldenrod City. I bred so many eggs in Crystal listening to this song. Doing the one in, what is it, 64 shiny odds? Yeah, it does that sometimes. It doesn't update properly all the time. It doesn't really matter to me. I've tried to fix it in the code. It just, I don't know why it does it or how to fix it. It's just like, sometimes it just doesn't update right, and it disappears. It's pretty rare. It's rarer than it used to be. It's, I actually programmed this counter myself, because I'm on Ubuntu, and no one makes a counter on Ubuntu, and they you know, there's a good reason for that, where, because you can build an entire keylogger program in Python using libraries. Like, I could build a keylogger, and part of the reason that a lot of the same applications don't exist is because of the difference in the security protocols, what's exposed, what's not. So I had to build my own counting application for Ubuntu specifically, and while I was at it, actually, that's actually custom text I designed. So I designed it in a way where I can import image text specifically for the counters, so I can use any custom text I want that I can make to build a counter. bloop, 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 bloop. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, we gotta hit B here. Right. Distracted. No more distraction. We've almost hit 2 hours of actual shiny hunting time. We're a quarter away from... It's 11 o'clock, huh? I don't know what to do. I still want to do some Smeargle setup tonight. Yeah, once I finally got everything set up, you know. I've come up with a theoretical Gen 4 infinite battle for legendary hunting using 3 Smeargles. I don't know if it'll work, but I spent a long time breeding at least 4 IV Smeargles. And then after not getting enough, because Gen 4 breeding sucks, what I ended up doing was breeding them in Gen 7 and then transferring them down using some hackery magic. So I've now got my 4 IV, you know, jolly and timid nature Smeargles back down into Gen 4, and I'm going to set them up with a specific moveset for a theoretical infinite battle. If you're careful. It's not as easy as Gen 3 infinite battles or later infinite battles. Like, Gen 4 is hard because in Gens 2 and 3, right, struggle damage, specifically in Gen 2, you could actually... you could sand attack and make it so it would miss almost all of its struggles, and then you could give it leftovers, and by giving it leftovers, it would easily regain any damage it took because it only did the amount of damage based on how much damage it did. But in Gen 4 they changed that, so now in Gen 4, struggle damage does 25% no matter what. And there's no Harvest Lepa Berry, there's no easy way to do it. So I've come up with a theoretical infinite battle loop where you trickle leftovers onto it so it can recover health, and then you outspeed with Smeargle for Spore, and then what you do is you use... what's the move called? I always forget the name of the damn move. Now I gotta look it up. Let's see. Yeah, you use Torment, because Torment affects... Torment actually does affect the... Torment affects Struggle. So what you can do is, it'll use Struggle once. After it uses Struggle, you outspeed and Spore it. Then you use Torment, so it can't use Struggle again. And in theory, you'll always be prepared, because sleep turns don't count toward the Torment. So in theory, the Torment turn will happen once it wakes up, so you'll be able to outspeed and Spore it. And then eventually, you know, in theory, you can balance the HP recovery because you only need 4 turns. 4 turns without Struggle to get more than 25% HP back. So in theory, I've come up with a theoretical infinite Gen 4 battle using a couple Smeargles, but they need to outspeed, they need to have Torment and Spore. But what my plan is, the first one to come in will have Spore, Sand Attack, Memento, and whatever the other one is. It'll lower. So the first one's entire goal will be to lower the stats, because Smeargle has such terrible defense stats that you really want to outspeed it and lower its stats. And then the second one will have Trick, Spore, and then what's the word? It'll have Super Fang and Foresight. So basically it's the second one. So for most of the battle, you'll have it in place, and it will Spore and Super Fang, so that for most of the battle, it will set up. It'll be prepared for the Pokemon is battling. So we'll keep it at roughly 50% HP because you know, we want to have a decent chance of catching it, but we don't want it to run below 50% in case it does start to struggle. Then, before it starts struggling, we're going to trickle leftovers onto it. And that way it's going to start recovering health before it does the leftovers. And then that's where the third Smeargle comes in, because after we've tricked the leftovers onto it, we're going to send our third Smeargle in. Our third Smeargle also has leftovers just for recovery. And our third Smeargle is Spore, Torment, and I haven't decided if I really need to run other moves. And what those are going to do is, once it struggles, right after it struggles, you Spore it, and then you use Torment, and then it won't be able to use Struggle again, so when it wakes up, it'll just do it without a move. Then you can put it back to sleep, and then in theory, you'll have plenty of turns for the HP recovery. And then the next time you use a Struggle, same thing. You go ahead and put it to sleep, Torment, throw walls, you know. In theory, as far as I can tell, it should work. So I've been getting Smeargle set up. I've kind of planned for worst case scenario because my dumbass didn't realize that I thought that they were guaranteed 3 IVs in Gen 3, or in Gen 4, but that didn't start until I think Gen 6. So I was breeding 4 IV Smeargles thinking, oh, I'm going to be going up against things that have guaranteed 31 IVs. Nope, they're not. So I've done my worst case scenarios where if by chance, which this is a long shot, if the level 80 Arceus happens to get a Timid or Jolly Nature with a 31 IV in speed, then we need 144 EVs in speed to be able to outspeed it. That's the worst case scenario. And then I've got 31 HP, 31 speed, 31 speed F, and 31 defense. So they can tank hits. And then we're going to do 252 in HP. And then we're going to do more in HP or more in defense than special defense because Smeargle's defense is worse to kind of balance it out. So in theory, we will have plenty of good, whatever the word is. Our Smeargles will be able to tank damage, lower their stats, and create kind of an infinite battle scenario. All of that is entirely so that we have... I like to color match Pokeballs. That's why I'm setting this up. The other thing I was thinking about doing, what this started out with, was having them all have Trick and a Leppa Berry. Because in theory, you could extend a battle quite a bit with a couple of Leppa Berries. What you want to do is have 6 Smeargles, all of them learn Trick, all of them have Leppa Berries, and then they can trick the Leppa Berries onto the Pokemon battle. So if they outspeed with Spore, then you have Spore turns, and you have the extra Leppa Berry turns. In theory, if you were just going for Ultra Ball, in theory that would work, But since I want a color match, we're going to have battles that take 300 turns. I wanted to do that, where we set up kind of an infinite battle between them. Of course, that all assumes that the Torment, what I've read about Torment is correct, and that Sleep does not count as a Torment turn. And once it wakes up, that is the first turn after the Torment. Which I believe is how it works. I just about reset on those again. Let's see. Oh, I hit the wrong button. That's what's going on. Summary. We have not shiny, not shiny, and not shiny. Okay. But what I was saying is there's a local Fire Red near me. They want $120 for it, which is more than I want to pay for it. But what I've noticed is Fire Red prices are just sitting there, so no one is buying the physical Fire Red. I see. Yeah. So, and since no one is buying the loose Fire Red cartridges, everyone's kind of listed them, but they're just kind of staying there. And it does look like their prices have come down a little bit, but they should keep coming down to hopefully more reasonable prices. Because no one's buying the loose physical cartridges for that much, when you can pay $20 to play it. And some people mention collectors, but collectors want good condition in-box cartridges. They're not looking for loose cartridges. The loose cartridge market was always for playing, not necessarily for collecting. And I think a lot of them were for shiny hunters, A lot of people, I bet you a lot of the physical cartridge sales that still happen in Pokemon are for the shiny hunters, where they get multiple cartridges of each. Like Groseiden having his 4 Heart Gold and Soul Silver copies. I only ever need 2. That's part of why I do original versus digital, Because if you do the remakes and the original, then you can do 2 original, 2 remakes. So I can do Gold, Silver, Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I can do Ruby, Sapphire, or Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. The only one you can't do that with is Gen 1, because Fire and Leaf Green are the only ones that you can reasonably shiny hunt in. You know, because you have to do the whole stat thing when you hunt with the original Red and Blue. And then you got Diamond Pearl, BDSP, you have Black 2 and White 2, which is the only one that doesn't have a remake yet. So in theory, I could double hunt it with 2 DSs, or if I get a couple more DS capture cards or anything, you know. And then same thing with the Gen 7 games. But a lot of times then I'll just quad hunt between my Switches and my 3DS. So I'll run Gen 7 and Gen 8 or Gen 6 and Gen 8 at the same time, you know. Usually I can quad hunt between different generations pretty well. And, you know, Gen 6 and Gen 7 don't matter much because double hunting is perfectly fine when you're dealing with shiny char mods most of the time. Unless you get some hunts that are like, really? Did I really just, you know, like I'm doing an Araquanid hunt right now where I'm going for all of the totem Pokemon, but the totem Pokemon have to be in the wild in the game they came out in and in, you know, their highest form available. So I'm going for an Araquanid, and Araquanid, there is no good repel trick for it, and it was before Torrent increased the odds of water Pokemon. So it sucks to hunt on that route. Which is one thing I will give the Switch games, is it is nice to have more abilities that increase the odds of specific Pokemon encountering. Because in Gen 4, it was, like, static. They didn't, you know, the fire one didn't work, there was no water one. I think there's a bug one now, too, I don't remember, though. So what I'm going for is, what I want to do is, I want to do a shiny living Origin Dex, where I catch the Pokemon in the region they came out in. So we have to do Gen 1, the Kanto Pokedex in Kanto, the Johto Pokedex in Johto, and so on and so forth. And then what I'm also doing is they have to be in the highest form available in the wild if possible. So I want to do a bunch of hunts where, you know, like do Arbok, Arcanine, Ninetales, you know, when possible, do their highest form available in the wild. Lumiose City, baby. I love Lumiose City. Lumiose City is great, honestly. Da, 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 da. Well, we officially passed your 1200 number. So, I guess we're going to 1200 on one game, which is good. Yeah. Here's the reason I've been kind of collecting games. I'm debating whether or not I transfer it up. But yeah, I've got 2 3DSs. I've got 2 DSs I can record from, 2 3DSs I can record from, 2 Switches I can record from. So, other than physical Game Boy games and Game Boy Color games, which I just play them on my original 3DSs. Because you can actually record, if you ever want to stream something, the easiest Pokemon games to stream from are anything on the 3DS. Because there is an application for the new 3DS XL, so new 3DS XL, new 3DS, or the new 2DS that allows you to stream video over the network. So you could actually easily stream your 3DS over a network. No extra hardware required. Just a homebrewed 3DS with the right software running onto your desktop. And that's the easiest way to record gameplay from any Pokemon game, because there's no hardware required. It's just software. But it requires the new 3DS line. It doesn't work on any of the old ones because they don't have the horsepower to do it. But I've managed to make 2 double hunting work. It took a lot of modification of the original code because the original code was written like over a decade ago, So it uses some outdated libraries and had some issues that I've been working through fixing on the viewer side, where I could actually get to, with decent quality, stably working. And then I changed the, I modified the upscaling filter, the rendering engine, so it used to use a weird pixel map where I think it renders individual pixels or something like that, and I changed that to rendering an image instead, and then it renders it using either OpenCL or GL, I don't remember the difference. And, you know, just little stuff like that, updating some of the libraries and some of the ways it works to make it work a little better. Have a little better quality, because before you could make one work with high quality, but it would probably lag, and then you could only make 2 work with low quality, and now I'm able to do 2 with decent quality. I wonder why YouTube killed it. Like, I haven't seen anyone new show up in a while. It's weird that YouTube is just, yep, we're gonna kill it. No more new people showing up. No, I don't want a nickname. We're officially at 2 hours of hunting since the stream started. I know the stream's close to 3 hours, but 2 hours of actually actively hunting. Let me see, where did I start? That was 2 hours. Let's see. I'm gonna go here and view it like this and this. So we started at 254. So I have done not even 200 encounters in 2 hours, which seems ridiculous. What is that? 175 a game? 180 a game? In 2 hours? That can't be right, can it? I must have had some stuttering in there somewhere, because, like, I didn't record some of it. That feels wrong. Like, I swear I'm getting better odds than that. Oh, that's cool. There's been a lot of people who have been streaming it, but some of them are good, and some of them are bad, you know. I think a lot of people have too much going on in their layouts for my liking, you know. I just want to see the screens, and that's it. Alright, let's get back down. So I go to... Oh, I kind of want to go to 500, but I don't think I could. I think that would take too close to another hour. I think I'll go to 450 and then call it on stream. In Basta City now. Nimbasa City. Yeah, that was 1 minute and 8 seconds for 2, so it's 34, 35 seconds a piece per encounter. So you're not quite doing... You're not doing 120 an hour, you're doing... I have to figure it out. My brain does not want to math at the moment. But yeah, if it's it's 1 minute and 8 seconds per reset. Or not, it's 1 minute and 8 seconds for 2, then that means it's 34 seconds per reset. If it's 34 seconds per reset, then I don't know what ends up being, how many an hour. And people think BDSP resets are slow. Haha. I think Switch 2 BDSP resets are actually faster than this. Or, well, I guess they're not faster than the start. They're faster than the starters. They're not faster than, I would imagine, the random encounters or the static encounters are. Because the static encounters are probably way faster than this. And the wild encounters are probably even faster than that. One of the things I think people forget is, you know, even though you're hunting at full odds, a lot of times the full odds games have way faster encounters. Like, especially wild encounters. Like, wild encounters are so fast in some of these old full odds games. It's gonna be a brighter day. Can you feel the sunshine? Need to run away. Here's a question. How would you like to see 4 screens on shorts? Because if you were to do 4 different screens, they'd end up being way smaller. But you could do 2 big, 2 smaller, some variation of them. You know, I'd like the quad hunt. But the other option is I could just change what inputs they're on. Like, I could triple hunt, and then, you know, only 3 of the games are shown. I could quad hunt with only 3 of the games shown. And then if the 4th one gets it, we just change what input it is. Yep, it's almost time to sleep. Can you feel the sunshine? Right on the day? I wonder if Ambi's still streaming. Do I have to outstream Ambi? I don't want to have to outstream Ambi, but I will outstream Ambi if I need to. I want to catch up to his luck. Double check. Happy Ambi Palm. Oh, he did end stream. Cool. Yeah, 3 is kind of the safe, you know, 3 is kind of the amount that you can safely show on stream without them getting way too tiny. I wonder how long ago Ambi ended. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Did you get anything? Oh, no fucking way! Ambi, really? He's got to rub it in my dang face. He got... My friend Happy Ambi has been getting way too lucky in these games. He's been double hunting, right? He's gotten everything either at or below odds. Like, apparently he got Bulbasaur tonight at 1100, and he already got... Yeah, a lot of people prefer double hunting. I've been like multi-hunting my entire life. Like back when before I was recording it too, I did my Switch, my brother's 3DS, my 3DS. Like, it was 4 or 5 systems all the time between different methods and different reset hunts and stuff. Like, you know. It was shiny hunting a lot. Like, I did a lot of shiny hunting in Alola. I've done a few full odds hunts. I did a lot of Let's Go hunts where I did 2 of the legendary birds, some catch combo hunting. More recently, I've done just shiny charm odds with lures active for some of the rare encounters. I cannot believe Ambi has been that lucky between 2 games. My guy's gotten Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle. He got Snorlax, Dratini, Alakazam. A fitting song to end stream on today. If anything's gonna summon a shiny, it's gonna be this one. Point of no return. Everybody, 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 everybody. Will we get it tonight? That is the question. Are we going to get it in these last 7 encounters? Don't you know we really have to go to a place where you really. But his luck is part of why I do believe that your trainer ID absolutely matters when it comes to shiny generation, and certain trainer IDs do get luckier than others. Again, mathematically it shouldn't work that way, but it does seem like because it uses the trainer ID and the secret ID to generate the shinies, sometimes, you know, it does seem like they matter. Alright. Everybody. 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 If it does happen during Supersonic Racing or whatever the other one is, it'd be God. Everybody. 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 Supersonic Racing. Screw you and your Squirtle. We're going with me and my Charmander. I do like Squirtle better. I think Squirtle's the best Gen 1 starter, personally. Little Root Town wouldn't be a bad time to get it either. Ba-dum-ba, ba-dum-ba-dum-ba, ba-dum-ba-dum-ba, ba-dum-ba-da-da. Oh, I just think it'd be really cool to get shinies during specific music soundtracks. It's just, you know, I think it'd be cool. That's it, you know. I think it'd be cool to say, oh, I got X shiny during X soundtrack, you know. I just think it'd make a lot of sense. And this is... I think we got 451, and then that's the last encounter of the night. Oh, how come Squirtle? I like it better. I like its line better. Blastoise is overused, and Venus, or Charizard is overused in, you know, too many gimmicks, too many games. And I like Venusaur. It's got a lot of viability, but, you know, I love Squirtle. I like it shiny, you know. I like it better. Which is why maybe we get Squirtle last. Now the real question is, what happens if the physical game doesn't get the shiny at all? Like if I got all three shinies, was that the last shiny of the night? All right, that's the last encounter of the night. I'm gonna stop recording. I'm gonna stop streaming. Thank you for showing up. If you haven't already, go ahead and sub. I'm assuming you did because the goal went up. You probably don't have the notification sounds on. And I look forward to seeing you again. And it's a nice chat. I hope to see more people too. Sometimes, I think YouTube's algorithm is broken for short streaming. I used to do way better, and for some reason it got worse. But thank you for showing up. I will see you next time I stream, whenever that may be. I do have a Discord. I don't remember if the thing works or not. Let me see if that works before I end. I don't know if that join link works still. Oh, alright, yeah. The invite works still. So you can just click on that. And then I'll end stream. So I need to go here, here, and then end stream here.